A YouTube user hate-mongered two dead men to get 200,000 views in 25 days. Spencer Smith 312 says that John Lennon's Imagine, sung at Jimmy Carter's funeral, is an antichrist anthem. I'm going to read the words to the song by dismantling it, taking it out of not context, but forcing it into context as a set of causes and effects presumed by the writer of the song. You can look up the history of this if you wish. But I'm going to read literally all the words to it. And apparently this is supposed to be, quote, an antichrist's anthem. I don't think the Antichrist is going to be singing any of these words, because Trump has never sung this song. It isn't hard to do. It's easy if you try. I wonder if you can imagine the following. No religion. No heaven. No countries or possessions. Nothing to kill, to die for. No need for greed and hunger. No hell below us, above us only sky. All the people living for today, living life in peace, a brotherhood of man sharing the world. You may say I'm a dreamer. I'm not the only one. The world can be as one. Join us. Peace. At the cost of your ability to claim we're right and everyone else has to be wrong, or I don't have any worth as a person. Every accusation is a confession. Let's go through the list here. Religions have had a major effect on society and culture. And the United States is one of the few countries that explicitly says they have to be separated. And in spite of the fact that you can look up what the Founding Fathers really wrote down as to why they did that, and it's explicitly to prevent religion from interfering, because the religion interfered with the government in England. Because these were historians. It's not that you're doomed to repeat history if you ignore it. It's that you will look bad and feel bad and maybe not do this stuff if you know about it. Some of you clearly did not get that memo, or thought it only applied to other people. The fuck around and find out era has come upon us. Welcome to the end times that some of you voted for. And I'm not talking about Trump. This goes a lot further back. And it has nothing to do with Trump. Let's talk about this song and exploitation. We have a YouTube user. Don't harass him. I'm giving the information because I'm not implicating all YouTubers. He appears to have a group of people who treat him as if he's helping them become more righteous. I want to point out the exact same pattern of behavior, not with Jimmy Carter, but another subject matter associated with the song Imagine, was used by fundamentalist religious people of a different stripe. If you behave like your enemy, you should stop doing this. John Lennon's Imagine you can take as being an atheism anthem, but not really. Religions are political parties that you can't vote out of office because they don't let you vote. See also, literally murdering everybody who disagrees with the Pope. And I want to point out that every one of you that's going to get angry with me, you're going to have to learn about the three kinds. There's more than three, but three basic ones. What we usually in the United States call extremist religious people. It doesn't matter if they're Christian or whatever. I suppose you could have extremist atheists. They probably exist. I've seen a few, probably two. But let's say there's more than two. These are individuals who believe something to the point that they don't care about how much harm they do, and they actively participate in it. Then there's the second kind that are part of a religion or belief system. I'm using belief system very loosely. Religions are organized centrally. Belief systems are not organized. They're disorganized. See also the Democratic Party. But let's move on. The next group are people who do not advocate for doing terrible things by their group, but they don't stop it, and they even maybe help it along, but they know it's wrong, but they do it anyway because that's groupthink. The next group, very much on the moderate end, are people who don't agree with the evils that their church or religion or political system or government does. They're conscientious people who refuse to participate and then end up having to move to Canada until decades later they're forgiven for having a soul. On every subject, everything that happens, participation by the masses is required. Yes, I'm quoting Goebbels, which is an anagram of being a boil on a butt. It isn't hard to do. It's easy if you wish to try. I wonder if you can imagine any of the followings. Having no reason to kill or die. Having no countries, effectively, because they're not that damn important. You're not being so patriotic you're willing to yell at someone from another country almost as serious as you would about a football match, baseball, soccer, rugby. No heaven or religion, so that there's no hell below us, there's only sky above us. There's no punishment for disobeying the religion. Living for today, because religions teach you to live for when you die. They tell you to just endure the crap you're put through in life, and don't you dare try to rise above it. No, they do. They espouse it as a virtue. Virtually every religion does this. All the people living for today means that they're working their wage, right? They're acting their wage. Living life in peace, a brotherhood of man, and sharing all the world. Oh, that must be the work of Satan. Having achieved happiness by giving up your desperate need for your side to win, us versus them, dropping that entirely. Would you be willing to cease not following your religion, but insisting everybody else has to? Well, I'm not a... Yes, you are. Religions tell of laws that must be followed by the people who follow the religion. And if you are a Christian, the Christian Bible, you have to find the Old Testament where you can actually, really old copies, where it states that your purpose is that you follow these to increase your virtue and to make yourself an example of what should be done, so that others will ask you how you've achieved this, and you teach them. You're not supposed to proselytize, and you're not supposed to mandate it through laws, or use these laws as an excuse when you want to get away with divorcing your wife. And again, I'm going to repeat my favorite thing to say. Virtually every religious person I've met, it doesn't matter which religion, except for one, desperately avoids reading their own Bible or scriptures, because then they'd have to acknowledge the fact that they're misquoting the Word of God. If you presume that's your Word of God and you misquote it, you are the devil, which is actually something that's warned against in the Bible. People will misuse this work for their own gains, and they will make you into their slaves or something of that effect. But later editions remove the little warning label on how to properly use the manual. That very important disclaimer about this will be used to enslave you and make it the work of the devil and blah, blah, blah. John Lennon's Imagine is about him noticing, like everybody else who isn't part of a religion. By the way, no religion has more than 50% of the world's population on its side. You're all a minority religion. Get over it. Screaming, we're the righteous ones, follow us. Oh, by the way, we're going to mandate laws against your will when you clearly don't want to follow these laws. You don't have to make a law telling people to do things they're already doing, do you? They're not obeying you. Acknowledge it. You're in the minority. The majority of people don't agree with you. The majority of people don't agree with you even on principle, because they will absolutely say they don't. Acknowledge that you're demanding as your Sisyphus activity, pushing a rock up a hill with your nose, apparently, that you're going to make people obey your religious laws that are only supposed to be followed by you and other followers. That's why you're fucking called followers. So, the YouTuber, I'm not going to use his name more than once if I can in the video, used hate mongering about 2 dead people. Wow, that's heroic. To get 200,000 views in 25 days. I'm sure he's going to deny one of them. He's hate mongering. He's definitely hate mongering John Lennon, but he wouldn't open his mouth about Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was a big frickin' hippie. You know, going off into foreign lands to build housing for people like a carpenter from the year 300 AD back through 300 BC. Isn't your boss a Jewish carpenter? Every one of you that's a moderate watching this already knows that, yeah, a huge portion, no, it's actually a small portion, it always is, of religious people in the past were turned into a tool of the devil by saying that they were being righteous, by hating and attacking their neighbor, poking into their business, demanding to know what people's cycles are these days. Creepy ass shit like that. No, it's not weird. It's disgusting. You people are weird only on the internet. To the rest of us, you're disgusting monsters. Refusing to join your religion is not a sin. Your task in your religion is to be an example of why we should join it. Not prove every fucking chance you get on the internet that you're an imbecile that repeats shit without reading the book you're quoting badly, which is actually listed as a sin, isn't it? Taking the Lord's name and word in vain? When you have to get preached to by an atheist, there's something fucking wrong with your life. Yo, Spence, put up a video leaving out the parts you don't like in John Lennon's Imagine, but not adding anything to it, and try to explain to us why you hate the following. Nothing to kill or die for, no need for greed or hunger, no hell below us, above us only sky, all the people living for today, living life in peace, a brotherhood of man, sharing the world. But you have to give up the idea of possessions or countries being very important. And you have to decide that religion and heaven are not the dominant thing in everyone's mind when they're holding a bowl saying, I'm hungry.